José Aldo and Pedro Munhoz in the bantamweight division. Pedro Munhoz, one of the best leg kickers in the bantamweight division's history. I'm talking about every single bantamweight has walked inside of the octagon and had a professional MMA fight inside of the UFC. Pedro Munhoz is the best leg kicker out of all of them in the bantamweight division ever. I mean, the man's leg kicks are absolutely amazing. In this fight with José Aldo, I'm not too sure if José's gonna be able to withstand all of the punishment with those leg kicks from Pedro Munhoz. José is gonna be the longer fighter and the taller fighter with a 1-inch height advantage and a very big 5-inch reach advantage right there. And surprisingly, I always thought this was very weird, but Pedro Munhoz is literally a week older than José Aldo? Barely a week older than José Aldo right there. 34, 10 months and 4 weeks old. 34, 11 months old right there. They're basically the exact same age in José Aldo and Pedro Munhoz, which I thought was very funny. But for this fight with José Aldo and Pedro Munhoz, the boxing, in my opinion, with Pedro and José are very even. That in the fight with Marlon Vera, José was kind of staying back and looked for the right hook with the left hook, looking to land to the body a lot in that fight. He landed a lot of good body shots. It landed some good leg kicks of his own as well. But Pedro Munhoz, I think the boxing and the speed with José and Pedro are going to be very even. Overall, I do think the slight boxing advantage will go to José with that reach advantage, of course. But you add on the body kicks and you add on those leg kicks that are going to pay dividends as the rounds do go on. You might have to side with Pedro Munhoz a little bit. Do I think we're going to see any grappling or wrestling? It's possible. It definitely is a possibility for the fight, but with both of them barely even averaging 1 takedown per fight, they both have amazing 91 and 80% takedown defense. I really doubt we're going to see any grappling or any wrestling in the fight, but this is another thing I really want to look at is the volume landed from Pedro and the volume landed from José. And the reason that his volume is much bigger than José's is because of the leg kicks. I mean, we look at his last couple of fights against Jimmy Rivera, against Frankie Edgar, against pretty much everyone he's fought inside the UFC. Just the leg kicks are absolutely insane. I mean, you look at the fight with Jimmy Rivera, 42% to the leg at a 94 strikes. So that is pretty much around 40 strikes landed to the leg on Jimmy Rivera. I mean, I think he knocked down Jimmy Rivera in that fight a couple of times. I mean, the leg kicks are absolutely vicious. Against Frankie Edgar, let's check right here. He probably should have won the fight, to be quite honest with you, but 26% of the strikes to the leg. And if you do 166, let's see, 166 times 0.26, that is a total across 5 total rounds of 43 strikes landed to the leg on Frankie Edgar right there. The leg kicks are gonna pay dividends, and on the judges' scorecards, they're gonna be looking at these strikes. If the boxing is really even, those leg kicks are gonna be the deciding factor. Plus the fact that they're gonna do damage. I mean, Pedro Munhoz does damage with those leg kicks. He's not just trying to land to kind of edge out a decision on the judges. He's trying to land to decrease your movement, to decrease the amount of power that you're able to land with your right hand. That's what he does with those leg kicks. They're just so devastating against Jimmy Rivera and against Frankie Edgar that I don't know if José is going to be able to withstand all of those leg kicks. And speaking of José, in his last fight against Marlon Chito Vera, let's check right here. Let's check if I can find him. I believe José Aldo got leg kicked quite a lot in that fight. Let's say Marlon Chito Vera landed 58% of his strikes to the leg of José Aldo. Let's do the math right there. Marlon Vera landed 46. I mean, literally more than half of his strikes are to the leg. If Marlon Vera is landing that many times to the leg, imagine if Pedro Munhoz can land a similar amount of leg kicks on José Aldo and much more powerful leg kicks than Marlon Vera was able to land. I mean, that damage is gonna you're gonna see the damage. I mean, you're gonna see José Aldo's leg be super red, super swollen, super purple, super red, and we're gonna see him in that third and final round. He's gonna be limping a little bit. His movement is gonna be way worse than in the first and second round, and that's the reason I'm going to go Pedro Munhoz right here. I am going to go Pedro Munhoz. Even with the reach advantage, yes, José Aldo is the better boxer with the reach advantage, with the height advantage, being a little bit of a bigger fighter, being a natural featherweight fighter. But Pedro, I think the boxing is going to be very even in terms of the amount of strikes landed. But with the leg kicks, all of that, just adding up round by round, minute by minute, I think the damage is definitely going to play a humongous part in this bantamweight fight right here. Sorry to say, José Aldo, I think Pedro Munhoz is gonna win this fight by a unanimous decision, 29-28 on the judges' scorecards. Maybe one round, José Aldo. Maybe the first round, once those light kicks aren't really paying the dividends just yet, because it is only the first round. Maybe José wins the first round, but once those light kick dividends start to play out in the second and third round, that's when we're gonna see Pedro win the second and win that third round with those light kicks. So my prediction right here is gonna be a Pedro Munhoz 29-28 decision, winning the second and third round right there. Overall, amazing fight in the bantamweight division right there.